Hi there, Josie. My name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting these essays for you. I'm very happy to see that you have begun the online course and that you're submitting essays for your IELTS preparation. Great job. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what you wrote here in your first set of essays. This is about schools and whether they should be more entertaining or if they should merely educate. Let's see what you said. Nowadays, the general population consider turning school to be more enjoyable for students, but some argue that the traditional education is the only goal of schooling. Given that students are attending school on a daily basis, I believe making school more fun for them is critical in regards to their learning motivation and productivity. This essay will discuss making school entertaining serves the purpose of education with studies to back up my argument. Okay, well, this is fine in many ways, but there are a couple of things that I want to change. And more specifically, there are a couple of grammatical mistakes here, and so I want to fix those a little bit. So here, nowadays, the general population, you could have said supports making school more enjoyable for students. Okay, so supports making school more enjoyable for students. Okay, so then that's okay. And then this last sentence also was a little awkward. This essay will discuss that making schools more entertaining serves the purpose of education with studies to back up my argument. Okay, and that works a lot better. All right, so let's take a look at the body paragraphs then here. Okay. Firstly, making learning more fun and interesting for students will increase their commitment to studies. This is due to the high level of students' engagement in class if they find classes that include activities and discussions are more enjoyable. No. This is due to the high level of students' engagement in class if they find that classes that include activities and discussions are more enjoyable. Okay? This doesn't make sense without that. Or you could have said if they find that, no, classes, yeah, you have to do it like that. A psychological study done by Harvard indicates that students who received entertaining lessons throughout the semester were more willing to participate in class and meet assignment deadlines compared to those who received traditional education methods. Therefore, students studying in amusing classes will develop higher engagement and become more motivated in learning new knowledge. All right, that's good. I liked it. Let's move on. Secondly, a variety of teaching methods like storytelling, class discussion, and game-based learning improve students' learning productivity. Okay, this is due to the maintenance of learners' attention throughout the class and leads to better recall of learning materials in the future. For example, a study in Australia showed that students in interactive learning environments were triggered to invest more thinking and to contribute more personal opinions. Okay, than what? I kind of feel like there needs to be some sort of comparison here. Consequently, engaging lessons could potentially facilitate students' involvement and achieve productive learning in classes. Okay, careful here. You need to show that these methods that you're talking about, that they're entertaining. Okay, so you talked about game-based learning. Okay, attention, recall, interactive, but just because something or engaging, just because something is engaging and interactive, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's also entertaining. Think about what entertaining means. It means amusing, lighthearted, joyful, fun, funny. So these are some words that you want to include here to show that we're talking about entertainment and not just engaging education, okay? And in this way, IELTS is kind of testing your vocabulary, really, in an indirect kind of way, because I want to make sure that you understand what entertaining means. Okay, all right, so let's see. To conclude from the arguments and examples I have given, I strongly believe that making school more enjoyable is necessary for fostering students' motivation to think and learn materials and classes. All right, that's lovely. So, Josie, this is really quite good. I'm happy with it for your first essay. You've definitely gotten the template down correctly. You argued your points well, you developed them well, you supported them well. So it's a great first attempt. Just keep in mind what I said here about showing this understanding of the word entertaining. Okay, and now with that, I want to go on to your next essay about developing skills in a child. I believe that reading improves children's concentration and early literacy skills, but not every child enjoys reading and might refuse to do so if they are being pressured. I believe that allowing children to learn from their preferred activities will be more beneficial than improving their general skills and innovativeness. This essay will discuss these issues with studies backing up my arguments. All right, that's lovely. That's really nice. I like that you used this piece of grammar here, refuse to do so. That was really nice. Prepositions, perfect, no problems. Okay, let's move on. Firstly, reading is essential for children at an early age to obtain a certain level of literacy and comprehension skills. This plays, let's see, an important role to effectively understand others, which is highly valued in this society. A recent study showed that children were more likely to expand their vocabularies and understand the mental states of others because reading allows them to encounter different ways of understanding the world. In other words, reading provides a foundation for children to acquire basic literacy skills and expose them to innovative ideas. That's a lovely paragraph. I really, really, really like that. And I also like the fact that you talked about reading. And I think it's important to do that. Not everybody does. I think it's important because they're clearly comparing the activity to reading. And so it's difficult to successfully do a comparison without actually talking about reading. So you decided to spend a paragraph talking about the benefits of reading, and I thought that was great. However, there is one problem. You didn't really express that or say that you were going to do something like that in your introduction. You see, your introduction is essentially a blueprint for the paragraphs that follow. So we should have an indication from your introduction that you're going to talk about the benefits of reading. So it's not really very complicated to do. So here's how you could have done it. I believe that despite the effectiveness of reading, allowing children to learn from the preferred activities will be more beneficial in improving their general skills. Okay, so even something that simple to show that, I'm going to look at reading, it would have made a difference here. Okay, and this way would have been like, oh, okay, well, we can expect to hear something about reading in the paragraphs that follow. All right, so something like that would have made more sense. Just remember that your introduction is supposed to give us an idea of what follows. Okay? Otherwise, when you go to this paragraph, you're just like, oh, okay, I had no idea this was going to come. And that's not really what an examiner wants. An examiner wants to know where you're going with the essay and where the examiner is going, essentially, okay? So no surprises. Let's take a look at your second body paragraph. Secondly, engaging in an activity that children find interesting will strengthen their curiosity to learn. This is due to the activities they are engaging in that stimulate, no S, because it's activities, stimulate their attention and desire to think and explore new knowledge. For instance, a study done in New Zealand, it's 2 words, capital Z, states that primary students who engaged in game-like activity for a 6-month period have shown improvements in numeracy, literacy, and problem-solving skills. Therefore, making learning tasks enjoyable will drive children's curiosity to improve creativity and strengthen skills. Okay. So, fine, good, although I don't really think that you totally covered creativity. Let's look at your conclusion and I'll tell you what I mean. To sum up, from the argument, a comma here, from the arguments and examples I have given, I believe that reading is one of the activities that helps children to acquire skills and provides them a chance to encounter ideas. In the future, with children engaging activities, what? In the future, with children engaging activities they feel interested in, will benefit them to further develop relevant skills and innovativeness. All right, there's something happening with this sentence here. In the future, children engaging in activities, yeah, get rid of the with. In the future, comma, children engaging in activities they feel interested in will benefit them to further develop relevant skills and innovativeness. Okay, so now I got to be honest with you. I'm a little confused. So, okay, you told us here that you think the enjoyable activities are important. And you didn't say that your opinion about reading. Here, all of a sudden, you're telling us that I believe that reading is one of the activities that helps children acquire skills. And then you have this sentence about enjoyable activities, but it's a little incoherent because of some of the grammatical mistakes. So now I'm confused because it seems like your focus here is actually on reading. So in the end, which one are you in favor of? And if you're in favor of both of them, you need to express that. Like even 51-49, you're in favor of one over the other. So that's a little bit of a problem, okay? Your conclusion should essentially be like a mirror image of your introduction. But again, remember, I said that you should have mentioned something about reading here, but this really just confused me. So now I'm not really sure where you lean. And you don't want that to happen because if conclusions cannot be drawn from your essay, that will lower your task achievement score. Now, the other thing, which I mentioned to you really briefly before, is that you really didn't talk about creativity. Let me show you why that's important. Because the essay task says a child can develop better skills and more creativity. So what they're saying here to us is that they want you to discuss both of them, better skills and creativity, not just one of those. You mentioned creativity, so it's not like you completely disregarded it. You said innovativeness, so I'm assuming you meant that to be in a synonym for creativity. Here, you didn't talk about creativity at all. You didn't talk about how potentially reading could assist in creativity. And here, you talked about problem-solving skills, but is that your way of telling us that creativity helps problem-solving skills? Because if that's the link you're making, you need to make it for your reader. The reader shouldn't be making that link by him or herself. So, if you want my honest opinion, I think you should have done a little more with creativity. I think you should have spent a little time talking about it and how activities that really sort of allow children to do things, maybe like art, maybe like music, maybe like, I don't know, writing stories rather than just reading them, really enhances creativity. Okay, so something a little more there. And again, the reason why I say that is because they've clearly separated creativity on purpose, because they could have just lumped it together with the other skills, or they could have said better skills such as creativity. If you had seen a such as there, then you don't have to talk about creativity, but you can. But since you see an and here, you really want to talk about it. Okay, so I don't really think like you discussed it enough. Okay, so that's some information about your first set of essays. I think that you're definitely off to a very good start, despite my comments. I think that this could be a great essay. I think that both of them could be a great essay. So, and I'm sure that the essays that are going to follow from you are going to be really wonderful. So, what do I want you to do next? The first thing I want you to do is correct these using the suggestions found in this video. Return those to us. With that, with those returned essays, those corrected essays, I also want you to send an error correction list. So write down all the mistakes that were pointed out and then the correct version next to them. That's a list you're going to add to with each essay correction you get back from us. Okay, it's for your reference. And then, of course, the third thing I need you to send to us is a new set of essays. So go ahead and get them started. We'll meet back here in the next day or so with those, okay? Make sure that you keep up your momentum and keep up the progress that you're making. So I'll be waiting for your next set, and I want to wish you lots of luck.